you know I'm a stats person, right? The numbers person. So the numbers says that we consume or make decisions of the overall supply chain. Consumer, as a consumer, we make decision or influence decision for more than 80%. But in terms of executive leadership, we only present 3%, and in the leadership overall, only 15% in case of logistics. You've made your mark here. Help us understand what is that you look at differently that makes you able to achieve what you have achieved, and what should our audience think about it?
Yeah, this is a great topic and something that is a passion of mine as well. I think if I was to take a look at, again, just the stats, especially when it comes to our heritage and Indians in general, we are all about educating our sons and daughters. We've always encouraged them to go into fields, especially STEM fields. So when I say STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are really critical fields because they set you up for some, I would say, great leadership path. So when I take a look at some of the stats in terms of how well Indians do, we are actually some of the top ones in the world in terms of having girls and women in STEM. So it's about 40-ish percentage ahead of US, Germany, most of the world.
Can I challenge you on that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. How many CEOs, CTOs of Indian origin can you name? Anyone from the audience here? Anybody, any male CTO, CEO of a technology company? Do you know any names?
More than enough, yeah.
Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella. So yes, we are doing very well as a consumer, as a worker, but at the top, we're not there yet. And that's
Let me finish my story.
okay. Thank you.
So I'm just starting. So again, we don't have a problem in terms of feeding the pipeline, right? So what I was trying to get to is, as Indians, we are really good at encouraging our daughters to get in. They get the education. The problem is with the leaky pipeline. So you feed them in, now what happens? They go to workforce, there's a huge drop off. Whatever responsibilities come up, I mean, you know your personal lives, you know what has happened in your own careers. How many times have you sacrificed so that somebody else, whether it be your kids, your husband, whatever situation comes up, the women usually take a step back. In this case, Indians actually do way worse compared to, again, remember what I said, India does really well when it comes to educating the women. We don't do well when it comes to keeping them in the workforce. Now, if you don't stay in the workforce, what chances do you have of getting to leadership? Lesser, right? So again, I'm just going to compare to the world stage in India and Indians in general. The next problem happens, to your point, with leadership, because that is a whole another, ball of wax, if you will. Even if you are really smart, well-educated, have a lot of experience, and do exceptional at achieving your goals and doing well in your organization, getting those promotions is already not easy. If you don't have, all the right ingredients, again, that pipeline thins. So to your point, now we are at 17% or even 3%. This is a systemic problem. We have to attack it from every single angle. I don't think there's a single answer to it, and nobody has solved it, right? So I'm not saying there's one country in the world that has solved it, let's just model after them. Everybody's struggling with the same thing, but there are just different parameters on what they struggle with. So I think from our culture, we know what some of those challenges are. If we come together and actually put some thought into creating that support system and encouraging, being not just mentors, because women can find mentors everywhere. Give them sponsorship. So there's a very big difference between sponsors and mentors, right? Sponsors are the ones that will actually make sure that they speak up for you when you're not around. They'll put you forward for a promotion just because they believe in your ability. Maybe they'll make you think about something that you didn't think you could do. And I've been very lucky to have a lot of sponsors in my life, and I try to pass that ladder back down as well. One of the things I didn't mention in my intro is I co-created a community called Ladies Who Logistic, and the biggest reason for that is because I wanted to make sure that women who are entering this field, which is male-dominated, again, very STEM focused, I want them to feel like they have a support system. So at this point, we have over 1,000 members, and we meet every month, try to scale up 1% at a time, and provide that structure and provide that support to help women grow. And again, we're gonna have to work on this together, but it truly is a systemic issue.
Absolutely, and that's the theme for our event today, Samunnati, we have to go through together. I'm going to pass on to Surpiji here. And so in case of tech and wellness, you've taken that lead yourself as well. What would you like to add to the same thing? It's like in your area, how's it impacting you?
Right. So AI has taken down a lot of barriers. There are a lot more accessibility and opportunities for women than they were. One example would be because of automation, there is more opportunity for women to go into manufacturing or trades or things like that, and there's more support available. And there's so many things that are good that are happening. Women naturally are great leaders in terms of talking about collaborative skills and empathetic ability to understand how others are thinking, to think about your team. Women have the right skills that are needed to thrive and lead the next AI age. They are the ones who should be leading because they are cautious, they are aware of what are the regulations, what are the implications, what are some of the privacy and the AI impact that can happen with new technological advancements. So they do take a lot of consideration. They're very well-rounded. So women have the ingredients which would make us lead this revolution that's happening right now. At the same time, women make up for 25% of the overall global AI, and you can probably validate that AI skills, the skill force, the workforce for AI talent is 25% of women. Women also show that they are not experimenting and adopting fast enough and taking it AI fast enough because they are not ready to experiment and be bold and be ready to take it on and experiment and implement. Women also are not, like the one point that I think Harshadaji mentioned is the girls who are getting in the workforce and getting into these engineering college, they don't see the environment where they're being supported, the community, the environment, the mentorship. They're not seeing that that the world that they're going to lead, that world doesn't exist right now. So when we talk about kids, and I love the fact that you are hosting a coding and a creativity workshop. I forced my daughter to come. No, I didn't force it. I had to talk to her for a very long time. It was a long conversation, and I had to first take care of myself in order to really listen to her, what was the real reason why she didn't want to come. And the real reason that she said was, I am not good at making friends. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're so social. She's 11 years old. This starts to change. Even after giving her all the right environment and everything, they have this mindset. It starts to change around the 7, 8 mark, and then 11, 13. They already have this mindset that the world is not built for them. And that's the thing that all of us have the responsibility to change. And one of the things that we can all do in our lives, if we reflect back and see, we're all working really hard. We're, in fact, overperforming at work. Do we feel like we're comfortable asking for what we deserve? Do we feel that we're worthy to demand or to ask or to request? Make a powerful ask for what we need and deserve. Whatever it is, right? Like the sharing of responsibility, whether it's asking for a raise, whatever sharing of the load, are we in that mind space where we feel we can ask for what we are working for or what we're deserving? So that's a question when we ask ourselves, we can create a better environment for the next generation when we're actually stepping up ourselves. So that's something that I feel is each one of our responsibility.
That's really great, and a lot of thought-provoking questions here as well. Now, Reviji, in your area as well, I see the same thing. Whenever I'm sitting on a couch, I think to myself, who designed this couch? So how are you changing that?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. So I think that, I go into a lot of homes, and a lot of the time, the women, so it's almost a 50-50 split, even in 2026, where I'll walk into a home and a woman is a stay-at-home mom or a woman is working. And there's very different requirements for that. But often there's women that are running around working at their jobs, and then they come home and then they are in a closet with their desk, and that's not very functional. And their life isn't very functional. So my goal is always to create a home that is functional, mostly for women because they're unfortunately doing so much in the home, right? So it's not about maybe the design of the sofa, but the design of the space to make everything easier for the woman that is running the space. But one things that I wanted to add on to what you were mentioning is people will often ask me how I have time to do everything. I work in a very male-dominated industry because I do run a construction company as well. And people will come up, men mostly, will come up to me and say, how are you doing everything? You're raising your family, and you've got a husband, and this business, and all these things, and how are you doing it? And I think what women are always so embarrassed to do is outsource. When you're going to work every day, every hour of your time has value. And so men are very good at outsourcing. Men are not, cleaning the bathrooms at home when they're on the golf course making deals.
Has anybody agree
Right?
here?
Whose husband cleans the toilets? Nobody's. So women, I think, in order to take care of themselves and have the time to grow and have the time to spend on the things that are required in order to elevate themselves at work and still have the opportunity to hang out with their kids, need to start outsourcing things that are not paying them their hourly value. So if we look at your hourly time as this is how much money I make per hour at work, and this is how much money per hour of time I want to invest in my kids. So X amount of hours here, X amount of hours there. Outsourcing all of the things in your life that do not bring you value, help you elevate yourself, or help you do the things that you really want to be spending your time doing. Very, very important. And often women judge each other for that. Oh, you have a cleaning lady? I can't believe you can't clean your own house. But why should you clean your own house if you're busy working and hanging out with your kids and raising these wonderful kids, right? So whatever it is that is in your life that you are not outsourcing, I think often women, especially ones that want to become very successful, need to look at doing in their life's design, not just in their home's design.
That's wonderful thought. And ask you to hold the mic here. Sukhviji mentioned in her speech that now, because of technology and everything, there's an opportunity that is being offered because it's broken, but around 25% women in AI. Now, in your area, do you see the same thing? Is there any impact? And the work that you do as part of CWA, what do you observe in terms of what women are doing and what action do we need to start taking now to take that opportunity?
That's a great question. So I feel like AI in my design business, that's where I first started using AI. It sort of came out and all these young designers were running around using AI and saying how great it was, and I was terrified to touch it, right? I would plug something into AI and it would create this design that in no universe could be actually created. And so I had to, because I'm not a spring chicken, so I had to go and meet with these younger women and start to take courses and learn how AI could help me at work, because it was really scary for me at first. I felt like I was falling far behind all of these young women who were gonna, put me out of business. And then I got into my organization and I found that AI helps me do investigations. So a part of what we do in our organization is take down terror networks, which is kind of funny to think about a bunch of women doing, sitting at home on their computers at night. But AI really helped me to investigate all of the nefarious players that I needed to investigate. It helped me to put together briefs to present to government, language, education. So, maybe I'm not using that for the graphic side of things, but I'm definitely using it for the knowledge side of things. And I think women are so afraid, most women that I've met are afraid of it because they haven't learned it yet. And we really need to learn it to keep up. So
We're going
that's
to
a
change
message.
that.
Yeah, I think it's very important.
We're going to change that today. Thank you so much. Harshada, you do a lot of work with AI. Your industry is at the forefront. And I was looking at some other stats because you're also a numbers lady. So I'm going to quote another stat that it's from 2024, not 2025 yet. It said there is 80% of the money going there, but only 30% coming out. And as Ravi said, I was concerned. There's a lot of concern there. What would you say to our audience? Why that gap, and how should they think about it?
Yeah, so maybe again, I'll take a macro perspective because in general, there's a lot of money being spent on AI. The work that we do actually is around AI. One of our practices is focused on AI and logistics. So we actually help large organizations think about how should they implement AI, how should they do it in the right way. To your point, just because somebody is doing it for fancy image generation, that might not be the problem that you want to solve. You always want to start with what is my biggest problem and what are humans really good at? What should I continue to solve and what should AI help me, augment? So basically, things that humans are generally not good at is consuming 10,000 pages of, text in few minutes. AI can do that faster than us. Spotting patterns, AI can do that faster than us. Bringing creativity, making decisions, humans are better at that. Having that, you spend 10, 20 years in your field, the context that you can bring is very different than what AI would be able to do. So it's almost finding what the right way of implementing AI is. Everybody's kind of stuck in that loop of, I want to do AI, but they don't know how. So I think that's where a lot of the wastage is happening. Because there are so many new companies that are also getting a lot of funding, it's almost creating a bubble of, AI first kind of an approach. So I think the stats that you mentioned on increasing that awareness, scaling up, understanding the right ways to use AI in your own context. So again, don't worry about what somebody else is doing. Think about what's most meaningful to you is what would close that gap. I think, and I'll put this in perspective for women as well. The conversation we were having earlier on so many women get into STEM, so many women start out, they have this education, but we have a drop-off. One of the ways that we can actually change that is by leveraging AI. Because what it has done is actually democratized information and knowledge and education. So if you take the time and with the power of internet, you have the access to this education as well. And just follow your curiosity, right? So think about what is it that you're interested in and let AI help you and guide you on learning more so you become sharper and you don't have to depend on technology, but almost become, for instance, like now I'm not a developer, but I can develop apps, I can develop programs. All of these capabilities that I didn't have a year ago, I've achieved them because of the power of AI. So think about what can you do, especially the younger women that I see in the audience today. I hope you're taking the time to invest in learning because it will pay off in your careers multiple folds. So yeah, I think that's where the gap is and how we can close it as women.
Very well said, Harshita ji. Because we are running out of time and I'm getting messages here that we need to wind down. So we're going to ask quick, fast 5 questions, 30-second answer, no more than that, okay? So here we go. Vijay, one traditional business rule you have officially deleted from your playbook.
Official rule that I've deleted.
Yes.
I would say rushing into things and doing things out of fear. Tapping into yourself. That's what I would say number 1.
Okay, thank you. Secret weapon. One word advantage women have in 2026. Yes. What advantage do we have as women? That's a tough one.
The one advantage that women have in 2026 is that they're women and that women can do anything. We are
Amazing! Alright. For you, one human skill that AI cannot take.
Empathy.
Awesome. Baby G, one bad advice that you've received that you're glad that you didn't take.
you can't do everything.
Amazing. One thing the audience should do before 1 p.m. today.
I was going to actually, if we kept going, I was just getting started. If one thing we can do, because we have a lot of programming, one thing we can do for 1 minute is if we can put our feet on the ground and just your spine straight, just like there's a thread pulling you to the ceiling. And then hands on the legs and just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Bring your attention from the mind into your heart. And the attention travels down through your body into your feet and the ground. Take a deep breath in and relax and release any tension that you have. And that's it. You can open your eyes. So this is just resetting yourself for a second, and you can do that through the day, just so we can be more present and we can tap into that inner peace, inner wisdom, inner Shakti that we're talking about.
Thank you so much. Maybe do you want to have a final word?
I think my final word is that women are raised to always be put in their place, unfortunately. And as I said before, we are rock stars. We are the ones that are empathetic. We are the builders of community, and we can do anything we want. And I think that if you can believe that of yourself, you will teach that to your daughters.
No, I echo that completely. I think don't believe in any limiting beliefs of yourself. I think the workshop that just happened about mindset is a great example. I hope you took notes and you took some learning away from that. If you can believe it, you can do it. So make sure you believe in yourself. Encourage the women around you and your daughters and everybody around you to believe in themselves as well.
Thank you all for giving such great